So let me ask you something.
Yes. What is the question?
Do you feel like people are under more pressure nowadays to look financially okay than they're actually being financially okay?
That is a great question. And I absolutely agree with you.
Right? It's kind of all about errors, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
Especially in this day and time.
I know I'm seeing a lot more lately.
Yep.
Everybody looks like they're doing okay on the outside. Everybody's, posting on social, their vacations, their vehicles, their food.
Yep. The vacations in Dubai or those European vacations.
Man, but then in real life, because we look at folks' financials, right?
We do.
People
every
are
day.
stressed.
They are.
People are stressed. It's a lot right now between the cost of gas and just food.
Just everyday living.
And I think we talk a little bit about that today.
And I have to tell you.
What's that?
The Joneses are broke.
Say it again.
The Joneses are broke.
Serious. For real. They are.
They are.
People are trying to maintain an image, I think. Not all of us, obviously.
Right.
But I think that when I say that, and if you're listening, you know who I'm talking about.
Right.
You know that person.
I think we all do.
They look good on paper, right? They look good on your screen.
On screen, not on paper.
True story. They've got the nice car, and it doesn't even have to be top tier luxury.
Right.
I'm not talking about Bugattis, but they've got a nice car.
Yeah, BMWs, Mercedes, Teslas.
They're traveling, and let's clarify that. We're not telling you if you drive any of those vehicles. I drive a Lexus. We're not saying if you drive those vehicles that it's innately bad.
Right.
But there's these people out there that are living a little bit above their means.
I think greatly above their means.
Right? And a lot of times it can feel impressive.
Right.
Social media has made it worse, in my opinion.
I agree. Definitely.
And I know just based on conversations, I know based on the way that I've felt in the past, when you're scrolling and you see something, it makes you feel some kind of way. I mean, it would be like you and I work together at the same job. We make the same wage.
Right.
But all of a sudden, your social media is blowing up. You're in Italy. You've got this brand new car.
Wearing the Gucci shoes.
You got the Gucci shoes on. And again, nothing wrong with Gucci shoes, as long as you can afford them. For real, afford them.
Yes.
Not just charge them.
Right.
And understand this. Say it again, Roland.
The Joneses are broke.
Never a truer statement. A lot of stuff we see is not, in fact, reality.
It is not. It is all projection, an image that we're portraying.
Yeah, because sometimes, people spend emotionally because life just feels stressful. It feels like we have to keep up with others.
The Joneses.
With the Joneses, and the Joneses are broke, right?
Yes.
People have normalized spending $800 a month or in many instances more on a car payment faster than a mortgage payment will build equity.
Right.
They've taken the vehicle, and again, we all need cars, right?
We do.
We live in a city that is not a foot city, not that we don't have public transit. Shout out to all of my RTC friends.
Yes.
We've got a great public transit system. It's just not conducive to Las Vegas. We're a sprawling city, right?
We are.
So we understand that you need a car. We understand that you need to be able to get to and from work. We understand that you need to go to the grocery store. You need to live life.
But do you need that $1,100 a month car payment?
Well, and that sounds like it should be something super fantastic if you have an $1,100. We were in a class. It was our class with CPLC. It was the first time homebuyer class. And we talk about car payments everywhere we go because it's kind of still mind-boggling to me that average car payment is $750.
Right, here in Las Vegas.
We talked to somebody who was attending the class. She pays nearly $1,100. It was like, $1,095, something like that.
Right.
A month. And the vehicle that she's driving, it's an SUV, but it's not top tier.
Yeah, it's not a luxury
You
vehicle.
wouldn't be like, oh, wow, I can't believe she got this car.
But it's a nice car.
It's a nice car for real, but $1,100 for a car.
Over 84 months.
It's tough. But I think people understand that people see our car. You know, maybe our car is our status symbol. And a lot of us, we want to impress other people. We want other people to know that we're doing good. But think about this, right?
But what does that look like behind the scenes, though? What does it look like when it comes to your finances?
Well, it's tough. It's tough because when we talk about homeownership, right?
We do.
Obviously, that's what we do. And not everybody should be a homeowner. And we understand that. Not everybody wants to be a homeowner. And we understand that and respect that equally.
We do.
But I think that especially when we're sitting in a homeownership class, that the thought has at least crossed everyone in the room's mind.
Right.
And this isn't a dig against her. That
No,
by
of
no
course
means
not.
is this
Of course
a dig
not.
against
Of course
her.
not.
But people, might want to sit with the fact that your house could actually be the one thing that can create long-term stability.
Well, especially when you're looking at that car, because that is what we like to call, or what it is, a depreciating asset, which reduces in value over time.
The second you drive off the car lot.
Right. Yeah, it's anywhere between 15 and 20% that the car is worth less as soon as you drive it off the car lot.
And most of us know that. I mean, we know.
Yes.
I went to the car dealership. I bought a used car, and it had 8,000 miles on it because of the cost savings doing that.
Of course.
Again, not telling anybody they have to do that, but just understand we're not saying that people shouldn't enjoy nice things. I love nice things. That's not the point. The point is, are we building stability, or are we trying to look like we're out here doing stuff?
Right. Because at least for us, the goal is to own a home, which is an appreciating asset. And sometimes a home, how should I say, doesn't look as exciting as that car or those clothes or that purse or those shoes.
Well, you can't drive your house around town so people can't see it.
That is true.
You can drive a nice car up and people can stop. And heck, you did it yesterday. We had a CE class at Lawyer's Title yesterday.
We did.
And as we were leaving, there was a brand new Bentley out front.
Oh, it was beautiful.
And you stopped and you looked at the car. I mean, you were there for 10 minutes checking out this car.
I did because it's a brand new one, and it's the sports model Bentley.
It was pretty.
And it is on point.
It was pretty. So the person that drives that car understands that that's the attention that they're going to get.
That is
right?
true.
And so if you've got a affordable 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot home, and we're watching TikToks and we're looking at all the luxury listings.
Yep.
Now our house feels less than. Don't let that happen.
Of course not.
Do not let that happen. I think a lot of people are trying to look financially okay.
I agree with you. But are they financially okay?
That's a big question. So if you have any thoughts or questions about anything that we talk about today, or maybe you're trying to figure out what your options are, feel free to reach out. You can call or text us. We're at 702-540-0420. Again, our number is 702-540-0420. And honestly, I don't think the advice that people are getting out there is necessarily the best always.
And I agree with you. Because there's something or a group of people, and
I know what you're going to say.
I'll term it. It's called the street committee.
I love when you say that.
Right? So the street committee are people who are giving you advice, who may not have purchased a home in the last 5 or 10 years. Sometimes never.
Well, I've had conversations with those people.
We have.
The street committee. I love when Roland says the street committee. Sometimes these people, are out here making decisions based on, and here I go with my air quotes again, the street committee.
Right.
Because these folks, and all of us know this person, and probably when you hear me say this, you're going to go, oh, yeah, that's so-and-so. These are the loud people. These are the people with big voices and big opinions. They know everything about everything. You've got something, you say something, they come back with the knowledge. And sometimes it might even sound right.
So why do we listen to these people?
Well, they have big voices. They've got big voices. And it sounds good because they say it loud.
Right.
And let's be honest for a second. The crash people kept talking about, that hasn't happened.
It has not.
And meanwhile, rents keep going up.
They have.
Did rates magically drop?
They did not.
What did the loud people say?
The market is going to collapse. You should just continue to rent.
And they do. And we hear it every single day. People call. They're waiting for rates to drop. Yep. We talk about that all the time. We talk to people about that all the time.
Well, I've been talking to people for the last 5 years. They've been telling me, oh, well, when the rates go down to like 4% and home prices go back to 275, then I'll jump back into the market. Well, that has not occurred.
No, it hasn't. And will it occur? Crystal ball broke. I don't know, but it sure doesn't look that way. It's not 2008 anymore.
Nope.
Lending practices changed dramatically from that time, and people learned a lot of really valuable lessons, myself included,
right,
in that 2008 crash. There's still opportunities out there if people kind of take a step back from the noise.
Right.
You know, whether it be a relative or a coworker. Take a step back. You know what? Here's the best thing to do. Do your own research.
I agree.
Not
100%.
just from one source, not just from us, but do your research and find out what's best for you.
Agreed.
So people are hurting financially. They don't know whether they should buy, what they should do moving forward. We talked about car payments. We talked about the street committee.
We talked about the Joneses.
Well, the Joneses are broke.
Yes.
Let's stop talking about the Joneses.
Okay.
Because Joneses don't have any money. They just look really cool when they step out at night. I'm going to talk about a client that I'm working with right now. He's a doctor. He makes over $200,000 a year. I'm not going to go into too many details,
Right.
But he makes over $200,000 a year. On the outside, he's clean. He looks great. He drives a great car. I know that he travels a lot. He's drowning in credit card debt.
And most people would assume that somebody making that kind of money has zero financial stress. You agree?
It's not true. It's not true, is it?
It is not.
They have nice cars. They have big, beautiful homes. You saw them on Facebook. They were in Italy eating the most delicious pizza.
Yes.
And you might even have been a little bit jealous.
Yes.
I've been there. I've been like, man, I said it earlier. Your coworker who makes exactly the same. Maybe their spouse is super wealthy, but how are they doing it and I can't?
Right. How are they affording that lifestyle?
Great question. Because in reality, a lot of the folks that we see that are out here being showy, right?
Yep.
Every dollar they make is already spent.
And like Heidi said, it doesn't matter if you're a doctor, maybe a school teacher. We know some school teachers have more money or more assets set aside than some doctors.
Absolutely. I know casino workers. We worked with someone in housekeeping who had a nice nest egg in her account.
Right.
It's about choices.
It is.
Again, I'm not here to tell you shouldn't do anything. You should do whatever you want. But the future comes fast.
It does. And just before we move on, so what Heidi was saying is that we want you to educate yourself, understand your numbers, learn your options, and build a strategy around your own goals, right? Make decisions based on your facts, not fear, not social media or broke options.
Well, yeah, because if you've got big payments, you've got big debt.
I agree with you.
Right? Lifestyle gets expensive
Yes.
fast. We see so many people who've climbed that income ladder.
Yep.
They've promoted, they've gotten better jobs, they've, educated themselves, and maybe their degree got them a higher income. Phenomenal. But then we watch these same folks day in and day out.
We do.
The more they make,
The more they spend.
it's called lifestyle creep.
Yep.
Income does not automatically equal peace.
Agreed. And then we see the complete opposite.
We do. I wrote this down because I wanted to remember that we talk about this.
Yes.
And this one touches my heart. I tell this story everywhere I go now. She just closed. So I'm talking about a client who just closed. It was a week last Friday.
Yep.
A week ago last Friday. So she's been in her home for just a very short time. She's a single mom.
Yep.
She's got 2 kids. They've got kid activities. They've got fun stuff that they do. They've got life.
They do.
She's got medical bills.
Great story.
It's real life stuff, right?
It is.
And when we met, she was paying $2,100 in rent for a 3-bedroom condo.
Right.
She was renting a 3-bedroom condo, and she knew that she couldn't comfortably live with that payment long term.
Right.
She knew that it was making her strapped.
And at that $2,100 a month, of course, every year it will definitely increase.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Rents continue to go up. We don't have any rent caps here.
Yep.
She made a decision before she even started looking for a home, right? When we sat down, she said if she buys a house, her payment needs to be less than what she's paying in rent. So her payment needed to be less than $2,100 a month. She's got 2 kids. She needed a 3-bedroom property.
And sometimes that is tough to find.
Well, yeah. And if you talk to the wrong people, they'll tell you it's impossible.
Right.
We hear a lot of chatter on the news, and this isn't even against the news. It's everywhere. This is, the street committee talks about it. Everybody's talking about it. One day you hear that you can't afford a house here. The next day prices are falling. The next day the sky is falling. The next day it's bright and sunny. We're in a really interesting market.
We are.
There's in the Las Vegas Valley. I pulled numbers for the last Monday's class that we did. So this is this past Monday in the Las Vegas Valley. So that's Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas, right? There was about right under 9,200 homes available to purchase.
And how many people actually live in the valley?
Almost 3 million people live in the valley.
3 million.
Not in Nevada, but in the valley.
People in the valley.
Yeah.
And there's about just above 9,000 properties available.
Right. So there's homes available. Certainly a lot more homes than there were in 2022, 23 when rates had really just tanked, right? When they were 2.5% and 3.5%. Definitely more inventory. Inventory is rising. Why is inventory rising? Well, for a number of reasons. But why are people selling their homes? Because prices haven't come down, but neither have interest rates.
They have not.
That was
Actually,
the big one.
They've been going up.
Everybody's been waiting I'm going to wait till rates come down. I know the market is going to crash. We could say this until we turn purple in the face, right?
Right.
But she knew that she needed a 3-bedroom home and she couldn't pay more than $2,100 a month. And she wanted to be far less than that if possible. And she knew that if she couldn't find that, she would just look for a cheaper rental.
So how long did she shop for a home?
Over 3 months. So it was one of those situations. There was a lot of highs and lows in her home search.
Right.
There were days that we talked and she was super excited about the property she was going to go see. Then there were days where she was really discouraged.
Right.
She was pre-approved at $310,000, but depending on what, property taxes, homeowners insurance, and the homeowners association would be, her payment at that $310 at that time was around $2,400.
And I do remember that you ran numbers for like 20 different properties, right?
I did. I mean, we worked side by side very closely. We ran numbers on, it was at least 20 different properties that she liked. They'd reach out, her and her realtor would reach out and be like, hey, we're going to look at this property. Here's the taxes. Here's the HOA. What does this look like on paper? And we would run scenario after scenario.
Because it all changes, right? Due to the property, depending on where the property is located, where the property taxes are, how much are they? If the property has an HOA, how much is the HOA?
Well,
so it all
that's the
makes
big one.
A difference, right?
The big one is the HOA because you will continue to pay the HOA for as long as you own the property. Here's the asterisk. In most instances in today's world, with 30-year fixed or 15-year fixed or 20-year fixed mortgages, your payment doesn't go up or down. That it would if you got an adjustable rate mortgage, which are still available, but the mortgage payment isn't going to go up. The HOA and the property taxes, more than likely, they will continue to go up. So those are always food for thought. But she knew at that 310, that number wasn't going to work for her. We ran numbers. She would look at something at 300 because it had a low HOA. We would look at something at 280 and it had a higher HOA. And we went back and forth looking at these numbers. But I was proud of her.
Right, because she stayed disciplined
the entire time.
Right.
She stayed the course. She stayed disciplined. She spent her time, and she knew if she didn't find it, even after those 3 months, that she would just go find a less expensive rental. But keep in mind, the average 3-bedroom rental in the Valley is about $2,200. So now what does the future look like for her?
And that will only go up over time.
Well, it will. It will. But she did it.
She did.
She did it. She and her realtor, kudos to her real estate professional, they found a hidden treasure, an adorable 3-bedroom condo. So she got her 3 bedrooms.
Right.
About the same size as the property that she was currently living in. And it had a garage. Great complex, really nice unit. She found a property that was going to be affordable for her.
So under her pre-approved amount.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's talk about it. If you have any questions or you'd like more information about how we can make this happen, you're more than welcome to give us a call or text us. We're at 702-540-0420. Again, you can give us a call or text us. We're at 702-540-0420. Let's talk about what she did and how she got there and what can happen. There are properties that are more affordable than what we're hearing the average price is. Because the average price in the Valley, depending on who you talk to, depending on how the numbers were run, is between $460 and $480.
And there are definitely properties below that.
There are. And it's really going to come down to, are you looking at your needs or are you looking at your wants only? If you're only looking at your wants, it's going to be difficult because we all want nice stuff. That's why we started the conversation the way we did. We want to have nice, but we also need to make sure that we're financially stable because you and I both, and I'll speak for you on this, we want every single person we work with to be a successful homeowner.
We want them to be the most successful homeowner possible.
And what does that mean?
That means you're not house poor.
Right.
We want you to be able to afford that mortgage payment and still be able to live your life.
Live life happy. Be able to go on vacation. Be able to go to Italy if that's where you want to go.
That's right.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
So she was able to use the Nevada Housing Division Worker Advantage program. We've talked about it a lot on air. That program provides $20,000. And there's a bunch of different ways you can use it. If you tuned in last week, you heard Josie with Nevada Housing Division, and she broke down every program. This program has about 270 loans left, and then those funds will be gone from this program. So she was able to take the $20,000. You can either use that $20,000 entirely towards your down payment and closing cost, or you can actually use a portion of it, either 2 or 4% of your loan amount,
to buy down the rate.
So because she was looking at a condominium that was in a non-FHA approved complex,
right?
Food for thought when you're looking at condos. FHA requires that it be approved
on their list.
We can sometimes do what they call spot approvals on an individual property, but it doesn't always happen. But so she went conventional.
Yep.
The property was listed and they offered $250,000. Her earnest money was $3,000. Her offer was accepted at $250,000. She paid for her appraisal, which was $600.
Right.
The appraisal is for the lender. Buyers have to pay for the appraisal. The lender needs to see that to verify that the money that they're giving you is in touch with the value of the property that you're buying. So if it doesn't come in, the lender's not going to give you money on something that doesn't appraise, right?
And how much was her home inspection?
Her home inspection, I think it was about $450.
Okay.
But let's just talk about the appraisal. She offered $250.
$250.
The appraisal came in at, drumroll please. Thank you. That was good. The appraisal came in at $282,000.
Say that again. $282,000. She offered $250,000.
After her home inspection, the real estate agent, seller, negotiated the price down from $250,000 to $245,000.
Wow.
They reduced the sales price by $5,000, and the seller gave the maximum seller credits they could give. With a conventional loan, it was 3%.
So that means it was reduced another $5,000, and then the seller kicked in another $7,350.
We still haven't gotten to the great part. So remember, her earnest money was $3,000. The appraisal was $600. Home inspection was $450. After paying all of that, her cash to close on this 3-bedroom with garage condo, $1,925.52 is what she came to closing with.
So cash to close means that's what she had to come to the closing table with.
Yep. After she paid her earnest money and the home inspection and all of that kind of stuff. But even better, Remember, she had to be under $2,100 or she wasn't going to purchase. And quite honestly, if it was like $2,095, she would have thought really long and hard because we had those conversations.
Right.
Her payment, interest, taxes, and insurance. Those are the four pieces that we look at.
Right.
$1,610 a month. When we add the HOA for the community, which we add when we're calculating mortgages, it's not paid through your mortgage. You pay the HOA yourself.
Right.
But we calculate it. Her total monthly expense for that property, $1,912.
And remind us again, what was she paying in rent?
Again, she was paying $2,100. She's spending almost $200 less than she was paying. And remember, she has $37,000 in equity.
Say it again.
$37,000. That's somebody making decisions based on peace instead of on pressure.
Right. She wasn't trying to impress anybody. She was just working to create wealth, stability, and a legacy for her and her children, right?
Yeah, so many people try and spend every dollar they qualify. They want more.
They do.
How do we get more? And I'm not telling you shouldn't have the nicest house, but you need to make sure that you have a home that you can afford.
Right. We want you to be the most successful homeowner. Financial peace is leaving room to breathe.
Amen.